He touched me. Before we go into the gospel, here's another story of the ugly duckling. Once upon a time, a mother duck out among the bulrushes watched proudly as her eggs hatched one by one, and her pretty little ducklings came out, all fluffy and yellow. But one egg, the largest one, was not changing at all, not even a crack. So the mother duck had to sit on it again. And at last it was ready. Crack, peep, peep. But the mother duck stared with shock at this one. It was big and gray and ugly, not like the brothers and sisters at all. Maybe he's not my baby at all, but a turkey's chick. Let me check it out, she said. So she led the ducklings to the pond nearby and pushed them in one by one. And all the little ones jumped in and began to paddle with their feet under them like little boats. And the big gray one did the same. So he is one of mine after all, said the mother duck. The next day she proudly took her little family to the farmyard to show them off to the other birds. The ducks, the hens, the grand old turkey, and the other animals. Everyone made a big fuss over the pretty yellow ducklings. But when they saw the big gray one, they began to make fun of him. He's so big. He's ugly. Turn him out. We don't want him here, one duck said. The little ugly duckling was scared and frightened and sad. His mother tried to protect him from the other birds, but even she said, "It would have been better if you had not hatched at all." Day by day he grew more miserable. The ducks pushed him around, the hens pecked him, and even the little girl who fed the birds would kick at him with her feet. At last the little ugly duckling was strong enough to fly a bit, and he ran away, flew up and went over the fence. He hid himself in a pool out on the moor. He said, "It's better if no one sees me. I'm so ugly." But as the weeks passed and winter came, the water began to freeze. The poor little duckling kept swimming round and round to keep himself warm and to stop the water from forming into ice. Many scary things happened to him that winter, and he often said, "I wish I had a friend or a family," especially when he saw other birds flying together in the sky. Somehow he managed to get through the cold season without freezing to death. And then at last the ice and snow began to melt, and he felt the warm sun on his back. He flapped his wings and found that they had grown strong. They carried him up, up into the sky. As he flew, found himself over a beautiful garden. He looked down and he saw green lawns and big trees and a lake. As he looked down, he saw a wonderful sight. 4 beautiful white birds came gracefully into sight, gliding over the water. They were swans. When the duckling saw them, he said to himself, "I will fly to these royal birds, and I'm sure they'll kill me when they see me. But I don't mind. Better to be killed by them than pecked and kicked by the others. No more hiding for me." So he flew down to the lake and bowed his head before the white creatures. "Kill me," he said with his eyes shut tight. But instead of pecks and jabs, he felt gentle beaks stroking his neck, and a voice said, "You are one of us. Why should we kill you? Open your eyes and look at yourself in the water." And the duckling opened his eyes, and he saw in the water a snowy white head, a long graceful neck, fluffy feathers. He said, "It's true. I'm not an ugly duckling, but a beautiful swan. Not only that, I have a family, I have friends. I never ever dreamed of being so happy. Today's gospel is a true story of someone who is a bit like the ugly duckling. He got a skin disease called leprosy, which covered his body and caused him to get hurt, and he looked very ugly. He had to leave his family and friends and stay outside the city. In fact, he was not allowed to go near anyone else, and no one was allowed to even touch him. If anyone came near, he had to shout, "Unclean, unclean," to warn the people. It was a very sad and lonely and scary life. But one day, everything changed because someone came nearby. A reading from the Gospel of St. Mark. A leper came to Jesus, begging him, and kneeling, he said to him, "If you choose, you can make me clean." Let's think about the leper. What did you find out about him from these two lines? Choose an answer: yes, no, or maybe. The leper believed in Jesus' power. Yes, no, or maybe. I think yes, because he said, "You can make me clean." He didn't say, "You might be able to." He knew that Jesus would heal him. Was he sure? Yes, no, maybe. I thought maybe, because like the ugly duckling didn't think the swans would welcome him, but they did. The leper also seemed to be unsure, but he must have hoped, otherwise he wouldn't have come to Jesus at all. So he was not sure, but he hoped. The leper was a proud man. No, he was not. How do we know that? He came to Jesus very humbly. He begged, he knelt down, just like the ugly duckling who bowed his head before the swans. And he was even open to Jesus saying no. He didn't say, "You must heal me," but he said, "If you want, if you choose." Let's read what Jesus did. Moved with pity, Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him and said to him, "I do choose. Be made clean." Immediately the leprosy left him and he was made clean. We'll think about Jesus. What did you find out about Jesus from this gospel passage? Jesus felt sorry for the man? Yes, no, maybe? Yes. The gospel says he was moved with pity. He understood what the man was going through, how sad, how lonely, how helpless he felt. He felt his pain and his shame, and it moved him to do something. Jesus broke the law? Actually, yes. You may have thought no, because people were not allowed to touch lepers. But for Jesus, the law above all laws was love. And he touched the man because he wanted to say, "I'm your friend. I am with you." Just like the swans who stroked the ugly duckling with their beaks. Jesus wanted the man to be clean. Of course, yes. He said, "I do choose. I do want to." We'll read the last part of the gospel. After sternly warning him, he sent him away at once, saying to him, "See that you say nothing to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer for your cleansing what Moses commanded as a testimony to them." But the man went out and began to proclaim it freely and to spread the word, so that Jesus could no longer go into a town openly, but stayed out in the country, and people came to him from every quarter. So we go back to the previous page and add one more question. Did Jesus switch places with the man? Yes, no, maybe? I think that is also yes. Why am I saying that? Now, instead of the man having to stay out of the city, Jesus had to stay out of the city. And more than that, Jesus made the man clean, gave him back his friends, but he himself went through all the things that the leper had suffered. He was treated like an outcast. He was alone, hanging on the cross, and he looked so terrible, people didn't even want to look at him. That's what the prophet Isaiah said. That's why the Bible says in Isaiah, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Let's listen to Jesus. He says to you and me, I see you. I see your sin, which makes you ugly. I see your loneliness. I see your pain. I know how you feel, even when your friends and family don't seem to care about you or may judge you, call you names. And I want to make you clean. I want to take away your shame and make you feel happy. You will never be lonely again. I will give you a new family, people in heaven, and other people on earth also. I will give you new friends. And what must you do? Come to me like the leper. Come humbly, knowing that you are helpless, knowing that you need cleaning, and come believing in my love and my power. Let's be quiet and give Jesus our answer. Spend some time during this week. So bye for now. Would you like to share this video with at least one more person? Then go for it.